All right, Coach. I'm gonna have you try and hold that microphone right there so it's not in the shot too much.
Okay.
We're rocking and rolling. Coach, like I say, apologies for not being here this season, but can you take me back to the beginning of the year, kind of talk a little bit about what the goals you set for the team were, or what the goals you set for Marissa?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great year for us. We had just come off a fifth place finish from the year prior with 6 All-Americans, and another fantastic season for us. And the goal never really changes for us, right? We want to be one of the best programs in the nation, and obviously, usually that leads to wanting to win a national championship as a team, and then and improve on the All-American finish the year prior, right? So we had 6 last year, so it was like, hey, let's have more than 6, right? We've already done it before. We've had 7, we've had 8. Like, can we have more than 8, right? So that's always something that we look at. How many qualify all 15 people for the regional championship? So those are all things that we talked about. As a Marissa, right, it's her senior year, it's second, third, right, Olympic trials qualifier, senior national team. It seems like she had checked off a lot of boxes of things to accomplish in her collegiate career, and national champion was the last one to do, or to check off, if you will. So, that was always her goal, right? She talks about that. She believed that she could win it her freshman year, and I believed that too. It just never seemed to be in the cards. It was, a really tough semifinals match in her freshman year against a very talented young lady who's been a senior level medalist. Broken hand her sophomore year. Third year just had a bad match, and then had to rattle off 6 or 7 wins to get back to third. And this year it was, the timing was going to be right, and I felt very strongly about that. Like, she had been doing everything. She spent the summer at the Olympic Training Center. She had made some just personal adjustments in her training, managing her time better, everything that you want a student athlete to do. So again, being a national champion was kind of always the goal. After the tournament, I said, it was always part of the plan. It just took a little bit longer than we had hoped for.
In talking to you over the years, talking to Marissa just now, she said one of the things that was kind of key for her was keeping herself a little bit looser, having a little bit more fun, enjoying the process. And I know that's something you've talked about in the past. You don't have to give away all your secrets, but what's the key to that? How do you do that?
And there's no secret, right? Wrestling has to be fun. Wrestling is tough. Any sport's hard, right? Everybody has their hard, and it's what you choose to make of it. We try to keep things loose by de-emphasizing winning and losing, right? In life, in sport, winning and losing is going to happen. You can have the best match of your life, give everything that you can, exhaust yourself and say, I did everything, and then you can look up at the scoreboard and you could have less points than the other person. And there could be the opposite. You could do the bare minimum and win and feel crummy about it, right? So why do we put so much emphasis on the outcome, and why don't we just focus our energy on the thing that's important, your effort, your attitude, your energy, right? And I think that's something that we've consistently been talking about. At the same time, right, people are like, well, Travis isn't competitive. We want to win. Right? It's not about winning and losing, but you have to want to win. You have to want to be competitive. You have to want to be the best. All right? And in a sport like wrestling, like, it's a one versus one, hand-to-hand combat, and I hate to say it, sometimes, like, it's live or die, right? I think that's how, in the sport of wrestling, sometimes you got to think, like, I'm trying to be better than the other person because they're trying to suffocate me, drown me, right? I used to hear that all the time. Like, how do you get off from bottom in men's folk style wrestling? Well, I pretend that the guy on top's trying to drown me. Okay, well, then you got to get out, right? You got to sink or swim. And, we test ourselves. We put ourselves in a lot of precarious, challenging situations, workouts that are hard and demanding and exhausting. And then when we get to the end, the finish line, if you will, we can look back and say nothing was harder than that. What we did was way harder, right? We're in a tough match in the semifinals of your collegiate national championship. Is that really as hard as I don't even know how many yards it is. We'll just make up a number, 500-yard individual water bottle ladder drill that we do on the football field. Like, that's hard. Getting to wrestle is fun, right? So it has the guy putting things into perspective of what is hard, what is tough, and what is fun.
It's an interesting concept, right? Because obviously we don't, as viewers, see all the hard work that goes into it, and I appreciate hearing it's a beautiful line that you guys kind of find, but I feel like every year, kind of, it feels like for the past at least 3 years that I've been here, it's always this building block to build to this building block to build to this building block, and we don't get to see that work. Can you give us insight into? I'm over exaggerating this question. Every year you guys build on it, and it looks easy from the outside because we don't see that hard work that goes on.
Yeah.
How demanding is that for you to say, okay, we built on we accomplished what we set out to do. We built on it. Now we're building on it again. We're building on it. It's done for 3 straight years now. Like, how is it taxing on you? Is it? Hard?
Every year is a new year. I always approach it that way, right? What we did last year is done, right? We can't sit in the driver's seat and keep looking in the rearview mirror. No one, again, a great example is no one will ever take away Marissa Gallegos being a national champion, right? When we start training again for the 23-24 collegiate season, no one on our team has been a national champion yet, right? Yet, because we haven't gotten to that point in the season, right? So that's something how we continue to build upon what it is. We reflect, right? We talk about legacy, what we've done, tradition, right? When we first started this program, there wasn't a tradition. Now we have tradition, right? For 4 top 5 finishes the past 4 years, 4th, 4th, 5th, 4th. Like, we're consistent, and as long as we can stay consistent and, again, keep hitting little benchmarks every single year, we're going to continue to build, right? It goes into recruiting, right? We find young ladies that want to be here. They want to be a part of this legacy, a part of this tradition that we're building this program because they know that they can win here, right? Marissa winning a national championship this past weekend really put a stamp on that. You as a student athlete for the Colorado Mesa women's wrestling team can win a national championship. You can be successful here. You can win. It does take buy-in. It does take believing. It does take commitment. But we can win here, and I think not just Marissa. We're highlighting her because she won a national championship, but the entire team, this program has proved that time and time again that we can win here. We can be successful. We've built a championship culture. We just haven't won a national championship as a team yet, and that takes time. It takes a lot of luck. It takes a lot of things going right on 2 days in March. But we're working towards that, and I know that we can win here, and I'm very proud of that statement.
One of the things you touched on, we will talk about Marissa here, but you kind of mentioned it goes to recruiting and bringing in people. We've talked ad nauseum about how this sport has grown and how great it is to see. We can say that over and over. But for you personally, getting to go out to just Central High School and watch this huge girls wrestling tournament, how has that translated in the recruiting process for you with the growth of this sport? Does it become easier? Does it become harder? What does it look like?
I think it's easier and harder because now you're finding girls that are local talents that maybe are younger and can definitely grow and maybe haven't had the exposure that, say, Marissa did growing up and going to big national tournaments, or, Claire DeCunio, Dahlia Garibay, Genesis Martinez, Haley Chat, right? Go down the list, right? That makes that a little bit harder, but at the same time, it makes it fun for me because now I have some great wrestling right here in our own, or literally in our own backyard with District 51, Olathe's team, right? You can even start going down the road, Norfolk, and even going into Utah a little bit, right? Not too far from us, or going down into Durango, the Front Range, right? We have very talented young ladies here in the state of Colorado, and that makes it exciting for me because I know that we're going to have some in-state talent that we can keep here in the state. It's going to be harder with, Adams State adding, and they announced this, and they're going to start next year. So that's going to be a little bit of challenge, but I love the challenge, right? That's the thing that I look the most about is, all right, how do I keep the in-state girls in-state and away from our MAC rival Adams, our MAC rival Shadron, right? Even, going to the team that won the national championship this year, the program that I was coaching at before, like, that's what I like about the recruiting process. And seeing women's wrestling grow right here in Colorado, I know we're going to have some homegrown talent, just like a Kaylee Haynes, come through our program and be very successful.
Does it change the way you look at recruiting, or do you have to adjust as a coach, or you just kind of keep the same mentality?
Same mentality, right? I want young ladies that want to be here. That's the main thing, right? I think that's been a big part of our success in our program. The girls that are here want to be here. They want to be a part of this program. When you walk in through this door any given day as an athlete and you want to be here, you're going to be successful. You're not walking in like, I have to go to practice today. I get to go to practice. I get to be a part of this team. I get to train with awesome teammates and friends, rather than I chose Mesa because, it was close, or, this school didn't give me an offer, so I just stayed home and wrestled for Mesa. It's the girls that are here want to be here, and that's where the focus has always been at, and building a program that I know that I want to coach. I have a note somewhere on my desk that says build the team that you want to coach, and that's what I ideally want to do, is want to build the team that I want to coach and bring in the young ladies that want to be coached, and I want to have them around me as well.
Forgive the ignorance, but it doesn't sound like a lot of girls are coming in here with shell shock. You kind of know what you're expecting when you come to Colorado Mesa.
Yeah, right. I think again it goes back to you saying we're building that foundation, and year after year it's we're doing well. Like when you come into this door as a freshman, like the expectation, and a great example: Isabella Morales, Haley Chapman, 2 freshmen that we had this year that made our starting lineup. Both of them were All-Americans. Like, they came in and were competitive right away. They wanted to compete. They wanted to be a part of this program. They knew what the expectation was, and they also set high expectations for themselves. So yeah, I don't think anyone comes in here like, oh, I didn't know we were going to have a hard day of wrestling today, right? Oh, I didn't know that, I was going to have to wrestle Marissa Gallegos today, or I was going to have to wrestle Dahlia Garibay today. Like, oh man, like they're tough. Maybe I'll wait till next year to get tough. Like, you got to be tough right away. It's a little bit of sink or swim. Not that we're tying rocks to them and hoping they sink, but at the same time, like when you come in through this door to train, that you're coming into an environment that's competitive, of young ladies that have high goals and expectations of themselves, and we've set a high expectation in our program of how you should be competing.
It's got to feel awesome for you as a coach to be able to put young women in that place, that position to succeed. I mean, I guess now's a good time to kind of go back to this past weekend, right? We're on the mat. We've seen the clip of you hugging Marissa. What is that feeling like as a coach, knowing that we did this?
Real fun fact, right? I in my coaching, almost 20 years of coaching now, when I was coaching high school, never coached a high school state champion, right? Never a champion of something, right? We might have qualified this, that. As a young college coach, right, as an associate coach, right, we had many national champions, All-Americans, but this was the first one, not just for Marissa, not just for Colorado Mesa, but for me as well. So it was definitely special, right? I think it was something that, I'll be able to look back on in my coaching career. My daughters will be able to look back and be like, oh, that was Marissa, that was the first one. At the same time, I want to celebrate so much, but my heart goes to the girls that didn't accomplish their goals this weekend, right? Dahlia Garibay, finishing runner-up for the second time. Like, my heart hurts for her. I want to celebrate, but I want to celebrate her finishing second as well. So, but having that first one, I feel like the monkey's off the back now a little bit. Like, all right, it's done. Who's the next one, right? And I think that's where like my excitement has been. It's been Marissa, great, we got it done. She did it. It's something that her and I had planned since her freshman year, and now here we are, her senior year, and we did it. Yeah. I mean, I always say it, I get to sit in the corner in a nice suit and look cool, and they're the ones out there doing the hard work, and just knowing that how much time and effort and energy and, just coming up short a couple times, right? It makes that all much sweeter. But again, excited for the snowball effect, right? I've always believed that here with Mesa, not just in our team, but the athletics department, right? Who is going to be the first one to win an NCAA championship? And once we do it, it's just going to dominoes are going to fall. And that's how I really think Marissa winning this weekend is really just going to be a domino effect within our program. And, she had 4 of the girls sit mat side. They got VIP wristbands, which was this cool little touch.
Let's go.
And she had 4 of the girls on the team sit down there because she wanted them to be right there in the moment so that they could see themselves on the stage next year winning a national championship.
It's interesting because it juxtaposes to being an athlete pretty well. It's what I'm hearing from you is that's what I love about covering sports, right? Is because nobody lucks out when they get to that big of a stage, right? Whether it's state wrestling or whether it's national championships like we're talking about today. It sounds kind of the same now. Like, all right, we've done it, and I don't know. I'm not posing a question to you. It's just interesting to hear you say that. You mentioned the suit, right? Like that's the tradition in wrestling is you get to wear that suit. Uh, does it change? Obviously, the physical appearance, but does your coaching style change once you get onto that mat and you know the stage is elevated here?
No, other than my wife always tells me don't get in too low of a wrestling stance while you're in your suit because you're going to rip it down the middle. No, really nothing changed. Going into the finals with Marissa, it was still the same thing as before, right? What do you need beforehand, right? What's the plan for this? What's the plan for that? Hey, she told me, hey, I want to walk out. I want to have my music in as long as possible. I want to be typical Marissa fashion late. We followed that game plan. And I know if my nerves get too high, someone like Marissa would feed off that. So I tried to make sure I fed off her nerves. She was ready. I was ready.
Yeah.
She was getting excited. I was getting excited. She needed to mellow out. I mellowed out, right? And the match before her, another Colorado girl, Jaslyn Gallegos from Denver area as well, she won at 116 pounds. And when she won, I was like, we're going to win. Because Marissa loves seeing her teammates. Right, Jaslyn wrestles for another team, but it's a good friend. And she loves seeing her friends and her teammates win. And when Jaslyn won, I was like, we're not losing this match. But nothing changes, right? I think it's just a matter of reading the situation and making sure that the athlete is ready to go in whatever manner they need. That's what I'm there for.
I guess Marissa would have been to be kind of the first one to do it here at CMU, and she kind of said, hey, timing, it means something, but it doesn't mean everything. What does it mean for you as a coach?
It goes back to that belief that we can win here, right? Marissa winning a national championship shows that we can win, right? Again, we've come up short. I had a bunch of people text me like, congratulations on your first one. And my first answer was, yes, thank you, awesome, so excited. I had hoped that would have happened sooner, but the timing and how it happened was oh so sweet. It was meant to be this year. It really was. It wasn't meant to be in 2020. It wasn't meant to be in 21. It wasn't meant to be in 22. It was meant to be this spring in 23. And I think that's the most exciting part about it is you get to see the build up and like, all right, next time, right? Oh, we just missed next time, right? So that leaves that mark. And the other thing is, like I said, it shows that we can win here, and it really allows our team to see that they can do it too, right? If you believe in it, you buy in, you do everything that you should be doing, you hold yourself accountable to a high expectation and high standard, you can win a national championship.
This might be an ignorant question, and I apologize for asking it. If it's too personal, you don't have to answer it. But, gosh, even me, right? I got off sports because the time commitment, I just couldn't do it with my family situation, and that's just me. This takes a lot of commitment, a lot of commitment. How's your family feel about what you've accomplished? It's got to, when you look back, and those hours missed or whatever, is it worth it? Is this what it is for you, or is it what is it for you?
It's tough, right? Being a coach of elite level athletes does take a lot of time and energy, and you miss out on things, right? My oldest daughter's birthday is during national duels every year, so I miss out on her birthday a lot of times, and that's part of it. I'm very thankful that I have a family that's super supportive of the career path that I've chosen, right? Not just my wife and my two daughters, but my parents, my grandparents, my wife's parents, their family. They're all invested just as much as we are. And yeah, there's days where it's tough and I'm here late, and being a father to 20 plus other, girls on this team and helping them. And then I get home and I have to be dad again, and it's exhausting, but it's all worth it. Right? It's worth it because I have 30 plus girls on this team that are amazing role models to my two daughters. My daughter loves watching us wrestle, right? Or my oldest daughter, my youngest one's still little, right? Okay. My oldest one, she loves watching, and my wife will, during the tournament, would send me all the things that Kennedy says. We call them the Kennedys, right? Yeah. Of what she's saying during the wrestling tournament. Let's go. Dahlia wins her semifinals, and my wife sends me, this is what Kennedy had to say. Oh man, mommy, Dahlia's so strong. She can lift at least 80 people up. And those things are fun, right? And to know that they're invested is important to me, and I know I wouldn't be where I'm at without the support that I have from my wife, my kids, my family, and the girls on the team, right? They support us as well. They are much as part of our family as my 2 daughters, my mom, my dad, my brother. These girls are just as much as part of our family as any of the blood family that we have.
Beautiful thing. As you look to the family that's coming up right now, you know, I was going through the roster. Oh, young, she's young. Is it too early to say what expectations are for next season? What are you looking forward to next year?
Right, we still have some recruiting to do. Some really talented girls that are still out there that really would like to be a part of this program. I think they make a great impact, be a great culture fit for us. The young girls in our program are slated to do great things, right? You look at the Isabella Morales, the Haley Chapmans, Claire DeCunio. You know, Jaylene Sakona still got 2 more years, right? You have Kimberly Carlin, who's a freshman. Carissa Epling, right? I can go through all the babies, right? The young ones.
Yeah.
We're I don't want to say it's too early, but it's not too early to start saying, hey, this is what's next. This is what we're going to work on this spring. This is what the expectation is in the summer. And when we come back in August, right, it's time to get back to work to be a national champion, because you can do it, right? Marissa showed us how you can be a national champion too.
And that's great. That's great. Man, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, I just want to say that, and you know, I can't imagine this changes anything. But when you look back on this year, you know, every team is different. Every year's different. What do you take from this team? What are you going to remember? What are the memories you have from this year?
The national tournament, really. I think that there were so many fun things that we did this year, and I really tried my best this year to enjoy it more. That was something that I wrote down as a personal goal this year. Enjoy the season more. Enjoy the moments more, right? You get caught up in coaching a lot, and it's planning trips, hotels, bus rides, this, that, right? And sometimes the weekend blows by and you're like, man, we wrestled really well, but I didn't get to enjoy the weekend. I didn't enjoy spending time with the team. And not that I don't, it's a whirlwind, right? I'm bouncing from mat to mat. One of the girls this weekend was like, Coach, you've like wrestled 100+ matches this weekend. I was like, yeah, I have. You know, so enjoying that, right? Being able to step foot in the arena for the first time as a women's collegiate national championship, and not being at another university's gym and having that enjoyment, that was the icing on the cake. I've been coaching women's collegiate wrestling for 9 years, and we've been wanting that for years, that experience that our male counterparts, our male peers have, and to be able to wrestle a national championship like it should be, just like any of the other men's NCAA tournament, that was the icing on the cake. That's what I'm going to look back on and say, not only did we have our first national champion this year, but we also did it the first time in the big arena with all of that fanfare and that excitement. So that's something that I'll be able to always look back on, that our first national champion happened the first year we had it at a neutral site, big arena, just like the men.
A worthy stage. Anything to celebrate? Did you do anything?
You know, not yet. I'm still trying to, like Marissa, I'm still trying to process it. Like, I was talking to my wife. I expected it to happen, and I knew it was going to happen, and I think I believed it so much that when it happened, I was excited, and there was joy, and there was all the emotions. But at the same time, I'm like, we expected that. We knew we were going to win, and not a cocky, arrogant way. It was just, I believed it so much that I think once it happened, it was more of it happened. But yeah, we got home. My daughter Kennedy loves to see the trophies. They're fun, like her favorite thing when I come back from trips. So she got to see the trophy and see that. And no big celebration yet. I think we're going to try to take all the seniors out and go get a good dinner together and kind of celebrate the last hurrah for their year. And then it's right back to work. We got the U.S. Open here in a couple weeks, Junior World Team Trials, U23 World Team Trials, Senior World Team Trials. A couple of the girls are going to a training camp at the Olympic Training Center in a couple weeks. So really it's short-lived, but it's because we're going right back to work. We have a lot of things that we want to accomplish as individuals, as in a team. So it's back to work.
Sounds like everybody here wouldn't have it any other way.
Exactly.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike.